What's going on, peeps? I want to start this the night before because, I don't know, I guess I'm doing a little bit of prep work and planning this shootout tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first solar eclipse in, I think, like 30 some odd years, and it's the first solar eclipse in the time that I've been taking pictures, so I want to make sure I did my homework, basically. I'm trying to be a little bit quiet because Renee is sleeping, and she has a normal life with a normal job, and I don't, so I do this at 2:38 in the morning. First off, I'm planning to go to Moraine. That's like a state park that's pretty close to where I live. I was trying to figure out where to go because I didn't know exactly where the sun would be. There's a website that I use that shows where the sun's going to be at any given time, and you actually have a little slider up here, I think right at the top there. So I've been trying to figure it out when exactly I want to go. I do have a job interview tomorrow, so I have to do that first, and it's at 11. And if it does hit like around 1, I have to basically fly home to change, grab all my equipment, and then go up here because it's about a half-hour drive for me. So I was thinking, looking at the sun based on those times, it's going to be somewhere like in this range, somewhere in here. Looking at the actual map, I think what I'm going to do is hit up this little marina here, which has these different docks. I have no idea like how big it's or how busy it's going to be tomorrow. I'm kind of just rolling the dice. That's kind of my plan for tomorrow, is to set up on one of these spots and then try to get just a sort of traditional landscape picture of the water and then some sort of like foreground element. I wasn't going to try to go over the top with what I was trying to take a picture of because I'm just more or less trying to capture the eclipse without it just being a dead-on eclipse picture. That's sort of my plan, and I guess tomorrow I'll see how it works out, and you will see in about a second. So, okay. So we are locked and loaded here. It seems like a lot of clouds have kind of rolled in the last couple minutes here. Hopefully where we're going, it's not going to be the case because we do have like a half-hour drive to get where we're going. Really, really hoping that that's not going to be completely blocked because I know that the eclipse is only going to be around for, I don't know, maybe like an hour or something like that. So I know there's a pretty small window we have to get the shot. So I'm hoping it'll probably just get completely blocked by clouds and ruin this whole thing. But I mean, I'm ready to go. I'm all packed up. I got my back to school look going on right now, and let's hit the road. We are off. One thing I keep seeing online about this eclipse is people saying to be careful, you know, obviously staring at it, but also taking pictures of the eclipse itself. I spent probably 2 hours last night just reading different articles and stuff like that to make sure, because I don't have any special equipment for an eclipse. I don't have those solar filters or whatever it's called. I don't even have the glasses. What I saw and what I've kind of learned is that taking a picture of the sun is no more dangerous or different than with or without an eclipse. There was one article that was getting passed around about what happens if you try to take a picture of the eclipse, and it showed like the inside of their camera, like their sensor in their camera was completely fried and destroyed. That kept getting passed around, so I was looking into it, and when I looked at the actual article, they were taking the picture with a 400mm lens, which is a pretty decent telephoto lens, and they were doing a 6-second, whoa, I spit like a cobra. They were doing a 6-second exposure, which is a pretty long exposure. Now, from what I understand about solar filters, they're basically like a neutral density filter, and when you put them on, which a neutral density, if people aren't aware, to varying degrees, it will darken your image depending on the filter that you've purchased. The only way I can imagine being able to take a 6-second exposure of the sun is having a very serious neutral density, or one of these solar filters. If you were taking it normally, without any filters, your sensor would probably be exposed for, I mean, whatever your highest shutter speed is. You're taking light directly into your camera. I'm not going to be doing that today. I'm taking a landscape. I'm doing wide angle. So I'm not going to be basically turning my lens into a magnifying glass and torching my sensor. I'm going in raw. I got no glasses. I got no filters. Although I do have a neutral density, so, and I'll probably bust that out at some point. More than likely, I'm not going to be taking any picture of just the eclipse because I'm not going to risk taking out my camera, because despite what it may look like by how I dress, I don't actually make a lot of money. Two things. One, it is taking us way longer to get here than I thought it would. I knew it was probably around like a half-hour drive, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. But I've been driving now for about close to about 40 minutes and we're still not there. I am right next to the lake, you can see. We're like right there, but we're not exactly where I want to be. Second thing is, I think the sun is a little higher than I anticipated, which means I'm really going to have to reconsider how I'm going to shoot this. That one I'm not, until I actually get there and see what this place looks like. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's just, based on the way it looks, I can't even see the sun while I'm driving around. Already some cause for concern. So now we've run into a pretty significant problem. The sun is basically directly over my head, and it looks like my sun positioning thing that I used lied to me, because the sun is actually behind me. So if I shoot out over the lake like I was intending, that means I'm not gonna have the sun in my picture even a little bit. So I have to figure something out right now, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I've just done a complete audible. I just kind of backtracked on the road that we were on, just found a spot, and I'm gonna kind of just look around because it's supposed to reach its peak at like 2:30, and as you can see, it's already 2:12, which means I have less than 20 minutes to find a spot, set up, and try to get this picture, which is not a lot of time when you don't even know if you're gonna be able to get the sun in the picture. So, and I have no idea what this area looks like. We're in just kind of crisis mode. Okay, so I'm just kind of walking up this path now. I have no idea what's back here. Okay, there's just like a building back here. I don't know what this is. I'm not familiar with this area at all. There is some people nearby. I can hear them, but I can't see them. Throwing my glasses on for a little bit of protection for my eyes, because I kind of am taking a gander up to try to see the position of the sun. This is a complete crapshoot right now. Not to mention, I'm having to walk through these weeds and stuff in my shorts, which means I'm probably gonna get Lyme's disease from a tick or something. As you can see, I came fully equipped with my best hiking shoes. Unless I use my widest lens, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the sun in the shot. And even then, I'm really pushing it there. I do like, this is a pretty cool spot here. Oh good, someone just left their trash back there. I just don't see a way that I'm gonna be able to get the sun. I mean, the sun, I'm trying to shoot out this way. The sun is all the way up there. More and more problems. It was in the middle of the day. I knew the sun was gonna be pretty high, but I was hoping it would be a little bit lower than what it is. So let's see what happens. Okay, so what it looks like is that I may actually be able to set up, if I do it up here, where I have my bag sort of and not down there, I may be actually able to pull this off. That's what happens when someone who doesn't prepare as well as they should comes to try to get very complicated pictures. Okay, there's just broken glass all over the place down here. There's some tripods that have like a pistol grip or some other thing that you can switch it so that it'll be going vertical instead of horizontal. This tripod doesn't have that feature, so I kind of have to make it work. Okay, now I know that angle wasn't that great, but I feel like for shooting with my armpit, that was pretty good. I thought this would be good enough, setting up here and then trying to shoot out over the water with the sun up there somewhere. There it is. But I think what's gonna end up happening is that I'm gonna basically cut off everything that's right down here, all these rocks and stuff that are sitting down here. I think I'm gonna try to go down there and just do a really extreme angle up through all the rocks and everything. So attempt 2, trying to get my bag to slide down here. It got caught on something and flipped everything and dumped all my stuff out. So cost me more precious time. I don't know what on earth that is. I have no idea if that really came out or not, so I'm probably going to take my camera off the tripod to really review these. This has basically been a complete flop. I don't have a lens wide enough, or the one that I do have that's wide enough to get some sort of like water, foreground element as well as the sun. The only ones that I can get, where I can get both of them, this Eclipse is not dark enough to capture any kind of picture. I literally took it off my tripod, aimed it directly at the sun, put it at the highest I could set the aperture to. It was f32, which is really dark. And my shutter speed at 8,000th of a second, and the sun was still a white spot in the sky. So there's no way that I'm actually going to capture this in any way. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to switch to my 24 to 105 because I have a neutral density filter for this. So I'm hoping that will darken it enough, and then I can do some kind of something. So far, this has just been a lesson on how to screw up an Eclipse picture. We can chalk this one up as a complete and utter failure of getting an Eclipse picture. I'll show you right now the picture I got. God. It just looks like the moon, doesn't look like anything special whatsoever. That was with a neutral density filter on, with a heavy neutral density filter, and I think like put the settings in here. I don't remember what the shutter speed was at, but it was as dark as I could possibly make it. So there's no possible way to get a landscape shot with that Eclipse. There's an ear. corn just sitting over there. So what I've basically resided myself to now is just getting a really long exposure shots with no neutral density, which is what you can see here. You know, it looks pretty nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna start taking landscape pictures now because this was a complete failure on my part. Oh my God, it's starting to pick up now. Honestly, I'm not that upset. I mean, in my mind, it was gonna be a really cool picture, but I knew the sun was gonna be super bright, but I was hoping the 70% would have been enough to darken it that I then would have been able to just make up for it somehow, maybe in post-processing somehow. That was not the case. I think this is a pretty important lesson because I think, especially very early on, and obviously still now that I've been doing this for like 4 years, I still make like terrible mistakes like this. I would constantly go out to try to do something and then realize, oh yeah, you're dumb, there's no way that's gonna work. That was sort of the case today. Absolutely did not work. It's just way too bright to shoot, which, I mean, go figure. Who knew the sun was that bright? Hindsight's 2020. Thinking back, I listening, like playing back the things I was saying, I feel like a real stupid right now. I'm packing up, or packed up. I have packed up and I'm heading out. I got a few kind of interesting shots. Nothing too crazy or incredible. Yeah, definitely did not go as planned. Let my failure be a lesson to you. This is definitely something that I go through a lot, where I had this idea in my head and then I go to pull it off or to get the shot and it just doesn't work. And then looking back, I go, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense why this didn't work. I don't know, I kind of rather try than fail than talk myself out of certain ideas just because I think they won't work. Where my head was at and why I thought I could get a picture of the sun, even as the brightest thing in the universe. If you have a huge light source, then it messes up your exposure. You can't expose for both. It's very difficult. So I was planning on taking multiple pictures of multiple exposures to blend them together. That didn't work, and I guess the reason why I thought it would work is because the eclipse was supposed to be about an 80% from the moon for us here where I live. So I was thinking that that's only 20% of the sun. That might limit the light from the sun enough that I can maybe get these different exposures and then put them all together. Boy, was that incorrect. I'm still gonna put this together and upload this because I still feel like it's an important lesson that not everything you go to do works out, especially when it's to take pictures. Maybe in 30 more years when the next eclipse happens, or I actually don't know when it is, someone can watch this video and know what not to do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna conclude this one. As always, thanks for watching. I've been putting up tutorial videos every Wednesday, so check those out if you wanna hear and learn about different aspects of photography mixed in with my own stupidity and mistakes. Thanks for watching. See you later.